Paramshanti. Welcome everyone to our channel Bapuji Dashrath Bhai Patel. This is continuation of Life After Death Part 1 video. Anandji is saying, Bapuji, in my previous video of Life After Death, my last question was, who decides the place, gender and family for the soul to burn? Bapuji is answering, there are many sages and saints in subtle world who guide souls. Explaining the karmic account, they counsel souls and guide them to born in specific family so that their karmic bondage can clear quickly. For some souls, they ask them to born in adverse situations or in poor family so that they can clear the negative karmic effects of past lives. For other powerful souls who have better stage, they guide them to born in wealthy families so that they can be rich and use the wealth for welfare services. So, subtle world souls give direction. Before, Chitragupta used to direct souls when and where to born, but not anymore. Anandji is asking, who decides the gender of soul? Bapuji is saying, that depends upon the feeling of soul at the time of death. If the soul had feeling and emotion of male while departing body, then at next birth he will take male body. But sometimes, depending upon their karmic account, feelings of soul can change in subtle world. Anandji is adding, even here on earth, people change their gender. They transform from male to female or vice versa. There is hormonal change. Bapuji is explaining. Yes, that's true. First, know how hormones are formed and know the difference between male hormones and female hormones. If a soul has male feelings upon entering mother's womb, then body will form male hormones because the feeling is recorded on subtle body and hence activates hormones accordingly. So, gender is formed inside mother's womb according to the feeling of soul. 99% of cases have gender feeling based upon previous life. If they were in male body, they will take male body. If they were in female body, they will take female body. There are very rare exceptions. But I want to tell you the reason for gender transformation. I have observed during my meditation, for example, a baby boy is born, then after 5 to 10 years, a soul with female feelings enters body of that boy, then there is imbalance of feelings in the body. Sometimes he has male feelings and sometimes female feelings. But gradually, female feeling soul takes over body and controls feelings. When there is permanent changeover in feelings, then they change gender and everything. Anandji is asking, Bapuji, is it fruitful to perform prayers and present offerings like Pindadan, Narayan Bali to the dead ones? Bapuji is answering, actually, the philosophy of Hindu scriptures were 100% true. We cannot deny Hindu Shastra, Ved, Puran, Upanishad. These things used to happen in old days, but now things have changed. If we go back 5,000 years before, then there was only one Hindu religion. Later, different religions were established and very few people were left to follow Hindu religion. People of other religions like Christians, Buddhists, Muslims, they don't follow Hindu philosophy. So, they don't follow the philosophy of Narayan Bali. Narayana Bali is a ritual performed at bank of Ganga river or any other famous river to satisfy deceased soul. Anandji is asking, but the question is, will it be successful? What happens if soul has already taken birth somewhere? How are they going to receive such offerings? Bapuji is saying, actually, everything changes with time. I want to tell you one thing here. When they perform Narayana Bali on the 12th or 13th day after death, they offer food, clothes, and other donations to Brahman. They say souls won't suffer due to hunger and thirst. They will get food on the way to its destination. This was true in earlier days. There was procedure souls used to benefit, offerings even in next birth. Brahman had power to follow up these rituals to empower souls. After death, souls used to stay or roam around their house for 12 to 13 days. On the 13th day, after getting pinda offered from their family, they used to leave house and travel higher up or far away in subtle world. Anandji is asking, does that mean after leaving body, soul does not take birth for 13 days? Papuji is saying, souls wander around until process of pindadan is performed. After leaving body, they see everyone in the family and friends sad and weeping. Then seeing everyone sad, dead souls become sad too. So, rituals are performed for their salvation. If you weep, they will weep too. So, there is reason behind all these after death rituals like Narayan Bali. It's all written on Hindu scriptures. This is very deep subject. Anandji is saying, let's move forward, Bapuji. There are angels, deities, and demons on their respective subtle layer. Are they still working to deal with dead souls? Bapuji is saying, if you analyze this world, then you can see some people worship demons or Satan. For example, there is temple of Ravan. They call upon Satan to receive their powers. They worship Satan first and then call them. There are varieties of procedures to do this. When they call Satan, they seek for powers. People might have heard about Dracula, who is power of Satan. These Satan come from subtle world. They cannot travel above 1000 kilometers. There is very big kingdom of Satan in between 500 to 1000 kilometers from earth. So, any soul who is traveling above come across their kingdom and encounter Satan. But very good souls, they can emerge directly above 2000 kilometers. Rituals are performed for good souls so that they can emerge above 2000 or 3000 kilometers without any disturbances from Satan along the way. So, there is territory of Satan in subtle world, just like we have good and bad people on earth. Anandji is asking, if there is capturer, then there should be rescuer over there. Bapuji is saying, everywhere in subtle layer there are good souls and bad souls. Just like on earth, we have good people and bad people. But if you go above 1000 to 2000 kilometers above, then the stage of soul changes. They slowly travel above and gradually become positive. They perform meditation and gain power and become thoughtless. When soul performs meditation and stay in remembrance of God, they gain power and travel gradually to 3000 kilometers, 4000 kilometers and above. As souls travel higher, their thoughts change and become positive. The evil souls or Satan, they cannot go higher than 1000 kilometers. The followers of Satan or evil souls who reside on lower subtle layer or on earth, they inspire people on earth to carry out wrongdoings like sacrificing animals. God does not ask for animal sacrifice. Ananji is asking, once I watched interview of Joshua, an exorcist, in YouTube. A soul shared experience with him that she came from Red Sea. Is this all true? Bapuji is answering, yes. Souls who reside in sea, they don't live underwater. They reside above sea. Some souls live in mountains, some in caves, some in temples, some in masjid. Some souls live in jungle and do meditation or tapasya. Temples are built in forest so that souls can perform meditation or penance after death. Souls perform austerity and renunciation in temples after death. Ananji is asking, Bapuji, is there any danger to call upon dead souls? Bapuji is answering, but when you call dead souls, it can be either good souls or evil souls. Ananji is adding, yes, souls will be good or evil as they used to be in human life. Bapuji is saying, but most of the time they are not good, as good souls will go into higher dimension. Understood? Ananji is asking, but will they come upon call or not? Bapuji is saying, when souls travel higher above, like 2000 kilometers, 3000 kilometers, 5000 kilometers, or above, they won't come down, even with lot of efforts. So when you call them, they can hear, but they don't want to come down. Such souls should not be disturbed. That's why nobody should call any souls. If evil soul or ghost comes and enters into someone's body, then it will be very difficult to pull them out. Then people need to use harsh techniques such as beating, slapping, harming with hot iron rods, etc., to purge out ghosts hidden inside that person. These evil souls, they are ghosts and demons, not souls. We should not even call them souls. Souls who know Supreme Soul, they go into higher dimensions. Ghosts and demons, they stay on lower layers. Ananji is asking, can we call them living beings? Jeev Atma. Bapuji is saying, don't call them Jeev Atma. Jeev Atma are good souls. They don't torture anyone. The one who tortures others who are elusive, they are ghosts and demons. Anandji is saying, there is a book called Punarjanma Parlok from Gita Press. Lot of incidents have been described in that book. For example, there are ghosts who throw away stones. If I talk about it here, it will be very lengthy. Bapuji is saying, if we talk about Punarjanma, Parlok, then it will take 100 hours. But then whatever written in our Hindu scriptures about souls is true. There are souls living in bushes or trees for 5,000 or even 10,000 years. Anandji is asking, who restricts humans to go near to Supreme Soul, Paramatma, and why? Bapuji is answering, see one thing. I want to tell you here, if you are trying to remember supreme authority or follow path of divine knowledge, then evil souls cast upon race and halt your actions. Anandji is adding, in ancient times, demons used to drop bones into heaven, performed by sages and saints. Bapuji is saying, yes, they used to drop bones into heaven. That is why Rishi Vishwamitra asked Bhagwan Ram to kill those demons. Anandji is asking, what would be the situation of common people? Who stops them from seeking Almighty? Bapuji is saying, the one very powerful soul who has accumulated the positive karmas from many lives can emerge divine knowledge within. It's not result of one life. After hardships of many lives, soul gets supreme knowledge. Anandji is saying, as you have said before, very fortunate souls acquire Brahmagyan. Bapuji is saying, look, emerging Brahmagyan within oneself is not easy. After hardships of many lives of a soul, on final birth, knowledge emerges within them at higher level of consciousness. They do not retain subtle body. They take incorporeal form directly, as they know that if they reinforce in subtle body, then it will take long time to travel and also will be troubled by demons on the way who won't let them travel further. They know the philosophy of Antamati Sogati, meaning the destination of soul depends upon the stage of mind at the last moment. Upon acquiring the Brahmagyan, souls take incorporeal form and directly travel to Paramdham, the incorporeal world, in 1 second. Anandji is saying, Bapuji, here relatives restrict to seek Supreme Soul. Krishna said in Gita, who will live and who will die is not your concern. But today the problem is if anyone wants to do good work, then their relative remark them that they are entangling themselves unnecessarily and so on. Why do people restrain Almighty seekers? Bapuji is explaining. See, the thing is, 99.9% of people of this world are negative and elusive. They intercept good work being carried out. People have knowledge of this Brahmand only. Ved Vyas wrote Vedas and Purans through his divine vision, but supreme knowledge has never been written anywhere in books. Also, it's not easy to understand and reveal knowledge of Supreme Almighty Authority. No one can write or reveal supreme knowledge beyond Brahmand. If you impart supreme knowledge, then people in this world will oppose it. There are good souls and evil souls in subtle world. When there are good souls residing in someone's home, then they will inspire house members to carry out good works. Same way, if ghosts or evils are residing in someone's house, these ghosts they prevent them to carry out good works. Similarly, when someone tries to do divine work, their physical relatives also obstruct their actions as they don't understand the purpose because the soul category is low. That is why Sri Krishna said in Gita, forget your body and your relatives. Remember me in your soul conscious stage. I will destroy all your sins. Also in Gita, Krishna told Arjun, everyone standing opposite you, they are all your enemies. Your teacher, grandfather, everyone standing against you, they are all living corpses. Destroy them. If you don't finish them, they will not let you work for welfare of people. They will create obstacles. That's why it's mentioned at various places that our biggest enemy is our relatives because they won't allow you to do good work. They will create obstacles. So, whether they help or not, we need to forget them. We should not be shy and hesitated to work for good cause. We should abandon what people say. The one who does good work, they know people will abuse them, but the supreme truth is always better. So, the one who seeks for supreme knowledge and walks in the path of supreme truth, they will get abused by people. Nobody will support them. Ananti is adding, yes, I read somewhere in Facebook that liars are shouting in public loudly while truth seeker stands alone. Bapuji is saying, see, telling the truth in this illusionary world is sulphurous. Anandji is saying, let's move forward, Bapuji. What will be the effect on subtle body of people who are extremely sinful or who has bad habits or who is on drug addiction? Bapuji is answering. So here the air element of subtle body of drug abusers or smokers gets damaged. For example, a smoker has cancer. The portion of physical body where they have cancer, the respective cells of subtle body get discharged. Anandji is asking, does that mean cells of subtle body get discharged? They say body is made of 100 trillion cells. Bapuji is saying, yes, subtle body is made of subtle cells. When a smoker gets cancer, the subtle cells of that part gets damaged. Now, question is, where is subtle body located in our physical body? So, we have physical body and it's made of cells. They are made of physical elements, water and earth elements. Inside that there is air element, fire element and ether element. Let's say there is an atom. If you compare subtle cell to an atom, then ether element is neutron, which maintains the balance of cell, meaning it keeps particles together. So, ether element is like neutron. Air element and fire element can be compared to protons. Fire element exists in air element. Anandji is saying, so in cancers, subtle body is damaged first. Is that so? Bapuji is answering, see, everything comes in mind first. Mind affects casual body, Karan Sarir, and casual body in turn affects subtle body. Defects in subtle body results defects in one's aura. So you can visualize aura and analyze accordingly. Ananji is asking, so after that disease manifests in physical body then? Bapuji is answering, it appears in subtle body then physical body. If you transform your subtle body, then physical body will change gradually. Anandji is asking, can it happen in reality, Bapuji? Bapuji is saying, why not? Receive power from incorporeal Shiva and lead karma yogi life. When one performs extreme meditation, wins over mind and vices, they will gain power and supreme light. This will gradually cure body. This is principle of natural law. Anandji is saying, that means if something bad happens, then things can be changed to better. For example, due to negative thinking, they created distance from Supreme Soul, Paramatma, then came across bad companion, which resulted in discharge of subtle body. That in turn led to damage of physical body. Similarly, by coming back in connection with Supreme Soul, one will gain power, then subtle body will recharge, and then physical body will be cured. Bapuji is saying, yes, this is principle of universe. Anandji is saying, now Bapuji, can you tell us what should a person give up before they die? Bapuji is answering, what I would say is everyone should be modeled from childhood that this is illusionary world. Parents should teach their children that this body and this world is false. It's illusion, as mentioned in our scriptures. The real body is made of supreme elements, which is present in casual world. You were Farista before. Everyone should remember that this is all fake attachment, fake body, fake world. Then where is the real world? Wherever we see through our physical eyes, they are destructible. Supreme truth and indestructible world is unseen through our physical eyes. So parents should tell story of immortal world to their children every day. They should impart divine knowledge at home from childhood. Like Abhimanyu had knowledge from childhood, he was given knowledge when he was in mother's womb. Anandji is saying, but Bapuji, in Guruvani is written that when soul stays inside mother's womb, they suffer a lot. They remember that they are getting new life on earth to do good work, but they forget everything after birth. Bapuji is saying, when soul is in mother's womb, they remember all deeds from past life. They know due to their karma they had to born on earth. That is why they feel sad, and that in fact affects mother. Then she also becomes sad. But if mother studies Gita Gyan and remember Supreme Soul, Paramatma, then mental stage of mother goes to child in her womb, and then supreme knowledge will emerge in child. Anandji is asking, so Bapuji, can Gyan Yog illuminate subtle body? If so, can it happen on earth? Or can it happen only in higher subtle layers? Bapuji is saying, see, I will tell you how many layers are there. For example, a good soul leaves body but has slow speed. Then they slowly move from lower subtle layer to higher subtle layer. Then they reach to maximum highest layer as per their soul power. Let's say they reach 100,000 kilometers above earth, then they meet saints or sages and perform meditation as guided. There, by performing meditation, they gain power and become thoughtless. Their souls are taught, if you meditate upon Vishnu, you will go to Vishnupuri. If you meditate upon Shiva, you will go to Shivpuri. So, upon meditation, souls gain power, they gradually move to a higher dimension. Upon receiving power, their subtle body gets illuminated. Then, fire element increases and air element decreases. As they move above, they gradually pick up speed. When their ether element increases, then air element gradually decreases. At very high level, soul has only two elements, ether element and fire element. Anandji is asking, does it happen where the layer of atmosphere ends? Bapuji is saying, where atmospheric layer ends, then there is very light air element. Gradually moving up, ether element remains. Due to presence of higher ether element, soul picks up speed. It travels above 10 kharab kilometers. That means souls escape sun's gravity. Then they get power from who they remember. If they remember incorporeal form of God, then they get power from incorporeal form of God. Then they enter into casual world. When they enter into casual world, then their body transform from three elements into supreme elements. Then stage of souls change into positive stage. Souls gain power, they gain knowledge, they are in peace, they are in connection with God. Then they go further up into Vishnupuri. Vishnupuri is casual world, Karan Jagat. In Vishnupuri, soul has supreme elemental body with supreme light, supreme air element and supreme fire element. Mahakaran Jagat means Shivapuri, where there is 100% Param Tattva, that is, supreme elements. There, souls take incorporeal form. Upon reaching supreme abode, soul becomes Jiv to Shiva. Then they have Brahmagan, they become Shiva Sarup. In supreme abode, there are other souls of Shiv category. When they have knowledge that Mahasiv is their creator, then they meditate to reach to Mahashiv. They make an orb with a group of incorporeal soul and travel to Mahashiv at the center point of galaxy. Then they become Shiv to Mahashiv. Similarly, when they gain more power and have knowledge of Param Mahashiv, they meditate to reach to Param Mahashiv. They travel from there again. Anandji is asking, Bapuji, the journey of life after death you have mentioned now, can humans start this journey in physical life? Bapuji is saying, I'm telling you, soul has that energy. If they want, they can travel directly to higher supreme abode. If they forget all attachments, stay in soul conscious stage, Atma Swarup, and meditate 8 hours and receive power from Shiv, Mahashiv, or directly from Almighty Authority, they can directly reach to Supreme Abode or higher Supreme Abode. If they meditate in Atma Swarup stage and receive power from Almighty Authority, the creator of infinite multiverses, with a strong feeling, saying, I am your great great grandchild, and you are my great 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 grandfather. You are the ultimate powerhouse. Please give me some power. The soul will gradually receive power from Almighty and can travel to highest of the highest supreme abode. But leading karma yogi life and having strong affection towards Almighty is must. Anandji is adding, that means it will be before journey instead of after journey. Bapuji is saying, that's why it's mentioned clearly in Gita. Remember me, you will come straight to me without any interruption. In Gita, Bhagavan Sri Krishna said, remember me and you will directly attend me and acquire highest of the highest supreme abode. Bhagavan Sri Krishna is Almighty Authority. He resides in highest of the highest supreme abode. Anandji is asking, does that mean humans can illuminate subtle body residing on earth? Bapuji is saying, yes, when one is in Atma Swarup and Brahma Swarup in casual world, then soul illuminates with lights of thousand suns, because all the karmic deeds are cleared. Anandji is asking, I have got a question related to this. Does Paramatma listen to prayers? Bapuji is asking, how can God directly hear prayers? Can he hear from loudspeakers? Anandji is saying, but people understand so. Everywhere in temples and mosques they have loudspeakers. Bapuji is saying, but very few people know about incorporeal Shiv or indestructible Brahma. Many people just worship Supreme Light, but they don't know relation to Supreme Soul. Feeling does not come until relation is known. If feeling is not there, then divine love will not emerge. When you meditate with feelings that He is your Supreme Father, He is ocean of love and kindness, then devotee gradually inherit His qualities. It is a big thing to bring that stage and understand the knowledge. Anandji is asking again, does Supreme Soul listen to prayers? Bapuji is answering, everyone's prayer goes up there. Some sages say Supreme Soul lies within your heart and not above in front of mass of people. But how can they tell lie? People's heart is filled with sins and lies. How can Supreme Soul reside there? Anandji is saying, everyone has their own views. Bapuji is saying, but they are showing people wrong direction. They should say, you are the part of Supreme Soul. They can say, soul has discharged power. They are misguiding people by saying, Supreme Soul resides in your heart. Anandji is asking, when they watch your videos, then they will be aware about Supreme Truth. Moving forward, is there Sorgalok heaven and Narkalok hell in reality? Bapuji is saying, yes, there is Sorgalok on third subtle layer, deities reside there, then above it there is Brahmapuri, Vishnupuri, Shivapuri and Paramdham. Anandji is asking, will greedy people remain here on lower layers? Bapuji is answering, they will remain here as ghosts. Anandji is asking, so Bapuji, you were saying soul can become Supreme Soul. Just as without tasting sugar, one cannot know its sweetness, similarly, without going deep into divine consciousness of Supreme Soul, one cannot experience divine supremacy. Now, my important question is, does subtle body feel happiness or sorrow? Bapuji is answering, there is casual body in subtle body. The recordings of ether element is in casual body. Recordings of ether element in subtle body is what I call casual body. Akashic records of all karmas lie in ether element, that is casual body. Anandji is asking, Bapuji, I have other questions related to this question. For example, one is given anesthesia during operation to make them unconscious. They say subtle body comes out of physical body and soul can see all procedures performed. Do they feel sad? Can you explain this in detail, Bapuji? Bapuji is answering, sometimes when they get excess dose of anesthetics during operation, in very rare case, subtle body cannot stay inside and come out. Then they see everything. sometimes they travel to subtle world. While traveling upwards, they see hole like wormhole and then travel further and they see Dharmaraj who says your sins are still left. Go back to earth. So everyone has different out of body experiences. Anandji is asking, Bapuji, can we send our subtle body 100,000 miles away? Bapuji is answering, human beings cannot pull out their subtle body, but very divine sages or saints who have power, they can perform yogic procedure and can come out with subtle body leaving physical body behind. Anandji is saying, there is one of your video on astral traveling where you have shared your life experiences. But here I want to know, when we are reading we fall asleep. Does subtle body come out that time? Also, whose subtle body doesn't come out, they don't fall asleep. Is this true? Bapuji is saying, this is all false. When physical body gets tired, humans fall asleep and then their subtle body also sleeps inside. Just like when physical body gets tired, it needs rest. Similarly, when subtle body gets tired, it needs rest too. Anandji is saying, so people say I'm tensed, my mind is tired. Bapuji is saying, mind doesn't get tired, but the casual body made according to the thoughts of mind gets tired. Then defects is seen in subtle body, and then physical body. Then they sleep, but subtle body doesn't come out. Sages and saints perform penance for many lives. They carry out lot of experiments. Then they get ability to pull out their subtle body from physical body. In very rare occasions, subtle body will come out during operation. Anandji is saying, if a person has understanding of life after death and reincarnation, good and evil deeds, and they want to reach highest of the highest supreme abode upon death, what should they do? Can you explain it, Bapuji? Bapuji is explaining. First of all, high quality powerful souls, they need to think beyond any religions, caste and communities and seek Almighty. We have uploaded videos on performing yoga. They can watch this. The one who is highest of the highest, supreme soul, we call him Almighty. Almighty is the creator and controller of infinite Brahmans. If you connect to him with extreme feelings and divine affection, leaving behind all religions, caste and creed, then you will go to highest of the highest supreme abode directly, not only in this life but also in next life. I assure you of this. Know the supreme truth beyond the scriptures. Know the almighty authority. Know the Father, the creator of infinite worlds. Know how big is infinite creation. Anandji is saying, Bapuji, lot of people, they don't want to listen to supreme knowledge. They are interested in yoga only. Bapuji is saying, tell me one thing. Can someone carry out surgery without studying medicine? That is why first subject is knowledge. When one has knowledge, they will know about soul, supreme soul, world drama, ways for yoga. They will know who is Almighty Authority, where does He reside, what does He do, what are His qualities. Even in Gita, Lord Krishna says, you will attain me not through jap, tap, dhyan or yoga, but through gyan, the knowledge. Anandji is saying, this is absolutely correct, Bhagwan Krishna also said that knowledge will illuminate Param Tattva just like sun. Then soul will go beyond the cycle of life and death and attain supreme power. This is mentioned in Mahabharata, episode number 74 during 10 minutes timeline. Thank you, Bapuji, for blessing us with very valuable and deep knowledge. Paramshanti.